This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Portian Bakery. If you're located in the Portian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Portian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone can podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. All right, let's just get this one out of the way first. Falcon the Winter Soldier, what do you think?
Another great episode.
Yeah, I thought it was good, but I felt like it was a bit of a filler episode. Do you feel that too? Not filler, but it's like a setup episode?
No, I think this is another introduction to the other character again. The new character.
2 new characters, actually.
Well, no, that was at the end.
True, yeah, okay. I see
Right, that's leading up to the next episode, but this was more for her. What's her name? Sharon?
Oh, so 3 new characters.
Which one? Oh, you're talking, okay, yeah, so there's 3. That's true.
Okay, so, oh, yeah, I didn't even think about her. Yeah, true.
I didn't think about him because he was the lead up on the end of the last episode.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's why I was like, he was going to be in this episode.
So, what's his name? The guy that showed up in, like, the
Zeno?
Okay.
You're talking about Zeno? I think it was Zeno, right?
So Zeno, if that's his name, he was like fleshing out his backstory in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, oh, it's like a setup episode. It didn't really feel like nothing groundbreaking or like revolutionary. It's still a good episode, obviously, but they're setting the stage for all the characters. Actually, they even did the backstory of the super soldiers.
Yeah.
Right? They talked about like how...
And why is it coming back now?
Yeah, totally. And like, and then they brought that blonde girl back, but who is she?
She was in so they had they do these things on Disney, like kind of like the backstory of each character, like the 7-minute 5-minute video.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh dude, I'm gonna watch those.
Yeah. So they've done it for all the other ones, right? So they did it for like WandaVision, so for Scarlet, and for Vision.
Okay.
And then Winter Soldier. I think I showed you that one.
You showed me the Winter Soldier one. Yeah.
And then they did one for Falcon, right? And then they like also did one for Zeno and her.
Okay, I like that they're doing that. They're like...
Because it kind of reminds you of who she was. Because she was in I think in the Civil War one. Or in one of the Captain America movies.
She said she stole the thing for them.
Yeah,
the shield.
The shield.
But I don't remember her at all.
Yeah, because I think she was mainly in that one movie. And then she disappeared.
Okay.
So they were bringing her back for this.
Yeah, she I like how it seems like they're training all the women in Eskrima. Like I don't know if you caught that, but she used like a stick, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. You're like Scarlett Johansson. You guys are using the same like fighting technique.
Yeah.
But I wonder if maybe that's like, because it kind of shows their training protocol.
Yeah, I wonder maybe it's who's the stunt coordinator.
True, but it also fleshes out like the MCU's world of like training protocol. It's like, oh, they know the same techniques.
Maybe, yeah, that's probably true. These are little things that I don't think normal people would pick up on.
Right, but when I said it, I was like, oh, I was like, oh, it's screaming again. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah. So, what did you think of them showing the Black Panther girl?
That was right at the end, so it kind of makes sense.
It does make sense
because they did say it though. They did say it.
Oh, what? What?
They did say it that in when he was I don't know exactly the exact scene, but he did say, Falcon did tell him that you're gonna it's the Wakanda people will also be mad for having him released.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But
so that's
so
why
subtle though.
No, I know,
yeah.
but that was the thing. It's like it was a subtle thing, but that's why it makes sense why she's there.
But why were they mad at him? Why are the Wakanda people mad?
No, because they said it too. He killed the king, right? It was him who set it up.
Oh right.
That's why.
Right. I wonder if, okay, so I'm wondering, I was thinking about this last night. I'm wondering if they're going to like kill T'Challa in this series. Because how else do you bring Black Panther 2 without?
Yeah, there's no.
Chadwick
Yeah, how are they
Boseman?
gonna like mention that too, right?
Right. So I kind of feel like that's what's gonna happen. It's like they're gonna do some, and this is how the series is gonna end. Like King T'Challa's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as if you don't. How are you going to address that?
Yeah.
You know,
it has to be something
and they
like that.
they said that they're not bringing back CG. Like they're not gonna
Right,
deep
right,
fake
right.
him.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of deepfake, have you seen that video of Tom Cruise where it's like some random guy who like does a golf swing and it's like looks just like Tom Cruise? Yeah, deepfake is getting crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
We first saw it with Fast and the Furious. Remember they used it on his brother at the very end to make like him drive off.
Yeah. It hasn't been used. They used a little bit of it. I mean, they did it in.
But it was rudimentary in Fast and Furious.
No, that was like the first steps of it, right?
Yeah,
They used it in Mandalorian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, for Luke Skywalker.
For Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, but it also didn't look that great.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't know, but the Corridor Crew, the YouTube channel, like they've done a lot of them.
deepfakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Showing like how they do it and all that stuff. It's like it's pretty good. And like we've seen some of the ones
Yeah, dude,
on the YouTubes.
Yeah,
that
deepfakes are crazy.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what deepfake is, it's like they take the face of a celebrity and put it on a regular person, and it looks identical. Like it's almost like the celebrity's doing it himself.
Yeah.
So
Well, it could be. Yeah, I mean, it can be on anyone's face, right? Like even on a celebrity's face, putting on another.
And you see that with like if you see that with Snapchat filters.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like when you do like I don't know, this is like crazy. Like I saw the like Christina posted one of Wob where it's like a woman's face on Wob, and I was like, oh dude, this looks like it's still like you can tell it's fake, but it's like oh wow, we're like scarily approaching.
Right. I mean, you can see where it's gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
pretty cool.
That's when we're gonna be not sure what we see, if those videos are real or not.
Yeah, I know, it's freaky, right? Actually, Tara was saying that she saw somewhere that certain celebrities are going to be licensing their face for a movie now. So you can hire you can pay a lower actor and then pay the licensing fee, and then it's almost like they made the movie.
Right.
You know, that's pretty cool, pretty lucrative. But I don't know, we'll see when we get there. But yeah, so back to Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think, what was the highlight of your episode?
I mean, I like the action stuff. To see them go to another place.
That's true. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Germany, right? That's where they were? Where were they? Where'd they go?
Well, they went to Germany first. Well, that's where he was imprisoned in, right? He was
where was the underground
Madripoor? I thought they said Malaysia or something.
Malaysia. Okay, cool.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it looked pretty like techno Asian.
Yeah. But none of them looked Asian.
Yeah, no, that's why. That's why I thought it was Germany.
I was a little tripped up with that too. Yeah.
I liked my favorite scene was when he had to drink the shot with the snake skin or whatever.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Dude, see, that guy's such a comedian, bro. Like, that's why I can't take him seriously. Like, after watching him in that the night before, and then now when you see these comedic scenes, you're like, no, at your heart, you're a comedian, bro.
Oh, okay. So it looks like Madripoor is something to do with, it's like an X-Men, like it's related to X-Men place, I guess. It's not like
are they setting up X-Men, bro?
Well, again, these are like hints at it.
Yeah.
These are like hints at these at these things, yeah. It's a fictional island located in Southeast Asia.
Where all the gang members stay?
And it was mostly associated with the X-Men series, the place.
Oh, okay. So they really are going down the X-Men rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm really liking the series. I think it's like...
Yeah, what they're saying is
top-notch.
based on like southern portion of Malacca, like between Singapore and Sumatra. Like that's the kind of the idea where it would be.
That makes sense because Singapore back then was like a pirate haven. Like they would have like drugs, brothels, organized crime coming out of Singapore.
Yeah. That's why they didn't have normally they have Berlin and it said Germany. There was no country name.
Oh right, yep.
They just said Madripoor.
That actually, that's why I was thinking Germany, because like I assumed like.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. So I think it's a it's a fictitious island that is in the world of X-Men.
MCU. Yeah. You know what's interesting with that thing, like it being in Singapore, we had this like backwards notion of there's like all this organized crime in Singapore, you know, like the underground, the drug havens.
Mm-hmm.
Even like why they position it there, because like, okay, we assume it's like a drug haven or whatever, but if you go there, it's actually so controlled and like it's their death penalty, right? They'll kill you there, like it's so safe.
Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe then it was.
No, back then it was not.
Yeah.
We did like a boat tour when we were in Singapore, and they were saying like, look to the left, that's where the drug den used to be, and look to the right. But they cleaned up the whole place now, so it's not at all like that.
Yeah.
It's like shopping centers now. It's like it's pretty modern. Well, it's hands down probably one of the most modern places in the world. But yeah,
right.
So it's just funny. Like media really distorts that, you know, that image.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anything else about Falcon Winter Soldier?
No, I mean I'm excited with the next one to see
me too.
with the
I'm super stoked
with the Black Panther lady.
Do you think she'll be the main character in Black Panther 2?
I don't know. Maybe there's always
Or
some.
do you think it'll be the sister?
I don't know.
I saw
We'll
something
find
about
out
that
who
with
it
the
is.
sister.
Yeah.
I was like,
but I
don't
liked
know.
how it was. I mean, it would make sense. It was Winter Soldier. He's like saw that, and he's like he knew.
Yeah.
What that was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool that the Winter Soldier is a part of that world.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, what if? Actually, no, they won't do this. They won't do this because that'll be like white supremacy all over again. I was gonna say, what if Winter Soldier becomes the next Black Panther?
No. I don't think he would take that mantle, and I don't think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, true. But I mean, he's the only like super powerful one next to T'Challa that came out of there. You know, like he's
I mean, they were powerful based with the suit, right? So anyone can.
No, but they had to drink the potion.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
So he's gonna drink the potion next.
Yeah.
Or did they even have the potion anymore? Remember in the movie, like they burned it or something, right? Maybe they only had one flower left or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, we'll see. We're all just
they're in a tough situation for that. Like what to do?
Yeah.
How to what to do with that story now? Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever. But at least it was legendary at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of media distorting things, the big news this week is the George Floyd case.
It's not George Floyd's case.
Or whatever.
Derek Chauvin's.
All right, well, who cares about that guy? Why are we going to big up his name? No, you know what I mean? Like, it's like...
No, but I think when we keep saying George Floyd's case, we keep thinking that he's on trial, but it's not. All right.
The George Floyd reckoning.
Murder.
Well, no, but then it also sounds like
no.
He killed someone.
The murder of George Floyd.
There you go. Yeah, okay. Sure. We'll go with that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I saw that somewhere where it's like you don't bring up, if you really want somebody to die, you just don't bring up their name anymore.
But I don't know if I agree with that.
No, I mean, that is how, because then it gets lost in history. You don't.
No, I understand that.
It's
but
like the Van Attack guy. Nobody knows his name. We just call him Van Attack guy.
Yeah.
They didn't, like, they were saying we don't want to copycats or like whatever, so we stopped like mentioning.
No, I know. I've heard of that, but I'm not too sure if that
works. I think so. What? You get lost to history.
No, for normal people, we won't know his name. But
yeah, so I mean, that's why
people
it's like
who want to
Floyd.
Copy it are still going to copy it.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, I get what you're saying, like for copycats. But I mean, that's why I don't even know the guy's name. You said it again. I don't even remember it.
Yeah, see,
I refuse to register it in my name.
I didn't know his name either, but I don't
want
want to just call him an officer. I'd rather call him by his name.
All right, call him the supremacist. We'll call him the supremacist. All right, so anyways, you probably know where we lie on the case, but so we saw the case play out this week. It was this week, right?
Yeah.
The past week, and the one thing that really got me was Donald Williams II, the MMA fighter,
right? Which is like the first witness.
Yeah, when he came on, it was like, okay, game over. You guys won. So he basically broke down in an MMA way, like as if it was an MMA fight. He broke down exactly how the officer killed George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
like he's like it's a blood choke, you know that. And then he said like that's when the officer looked at him, acknowledging that the officer knew kind of like what. Sure, let's speculation. We could say that maybe he didn't know it. He was just like, what are you saying, blood choke? But the fact that he sunk the choke deeper and then he replayed it and showed how he repositioned his weight and his knee onto the neck, just like an MMA fight. And it's like they say something in jiu-jitsu where it's like you can't catch an armbar accidentally. Like if we're rolling, you're never gonna sink an armbar because there's so many steps to do it, you know. And it's just like the choke. You can't accidentally sink that blood choke in. Like, because you see it in movies all the time, like actors trying to do it, and you're like, oh, that wouldn't work because you're not doing it properly. You could still breathe, like the blood flow isn't being restricted correctly. But when he broke it down, it's like, oh yeah, you knew how to sink this thing in, especially because like he relieved the pressure to sink it in deeper. You know, oh, what do you call that? It was a weird term I'd never heard before.
Shimmy.
You shimmying it?
I think shimmy it. Like he was just getting it more tighter.
Yeah, okay.
More
So I've never heard that before.
I think it was just
Shimmying
maybe their terminology or his terminology.
at his gym or whatever. Yeah, okay. So yeah, like showing that he shimmied it deeper and deeper to make it tighter. It's like, okay, well, what else could it be at that point? You know?
Right.
And then there were some other things. So like you're saying.
Yeah. Then it's just like who they had as witnesses, because they showed up not from the beginning of the arrest, right? They showed up when he was on the ground and he had his knee on his neck, and the other officers. So they wanted to show the witness perspectives first. So they had the MMA fighter, then some younger people, like 18 years and younger, that showed up. So they didn't show them on camera, but they were explaining what they witnessed. And then another witness came up. She was an off-duty firefighter.
Oh yeah, that was the other one. Yeah.
And then she was like, when she showed up on the scene, because they're showing all the videos now of, they have a CCTV camera on it, and then like, oh, is this you that showed up? So like everything's time stamped to when they've come up. And then they showed like from her phone camera what she was filming and other people, and also from the body cams from the cops.
Right.
And she when she first introduced herself, she said, "I'm a firefighter."
Right.
Like I can check his pulse and stuff like that. And she was like continuously telling them that, and they didn't. Well, they weren't going to listen to her because she was off duty. She could be lying, right? From their perspective. And then even one of the officers acknowledged, "Are you an actual firefighter?" Like, cause
right.
Like, and then she said, "Yeah." And then she knew some of the firefighters that came in, or I don't remember if she knew, or like they knew that
she's a firefighter.
Yeah. After the fact, I think. But anyways, so she was another witness that is somewhat of a
credible expert witness.
Yeah, who knows the EMT, or at least some form of EMT to resuscitate or something like that, right? So actually most of the firefighters' cases are not dealing with fires, but more dealing with health issues whenever they show up generally.
Yeah, of course, because when you dial 911.
So normally they help out when paramedics need help. So they have some training. They don't have the same amount of training as a paramedic, but and then that was like the first few days of the case as they were going through all of these witnesses.
But let's just pause there. So my baseline already was, after watching the MMA fighters' explanation of it, I was already like, how can you dispute this? Like, open and shut case. And then now you have the firefighter who's like, now you have two expert witnesses that tried to get involved, but they couldn't get involved, and they're like, yeah, there's an issue here. So now you got two credible witnesses against you.
Which is funny. It's like,
you already sold
you
me
got
with
people,
MMA fighter.
Now
you have this. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like the witnesses were pretty
knowledgeable.
Yeah, like they weren't even like, normally you'd bring up like an expert witness, right? Or not an expert witness, expert
like
in
a
something.
doctor. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
that would
well,
explain
this have
what
killed
happened.
this?
Yeah. So, but it's like these are like
Your witnesses
really
are already experts.
Yeah. And
That is
they,
the worst, that your witness was an MMA fighter who knew what choke you were doing. Oh, dude, like what?
Yeah.
And then like they're like, oh, he looks like he's dead. And then the firefighter's like, let me check his pulse. Okay, so now you have two people that are like, oh, there's a wrongdoing here.
Right.
So now continue.
Yeah. So, and after that, then they published all the what do you call that? The cameras on the cops. They published all that on the into the record, whatever, right? So all the jury could see that.
They like played it.
They played it, yeah. And in that explained, I guess, the confusion, and maybe some of the cops, if I give them any credit, was that idea of where he said he can't breathe. He was saying that prior to.
Okay, so what they're trying to paint a picture is like he's just lying with the I can't breathe.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, then when from one of the officers' cam videos, when the firefighter was yelling it, because you can hear her saying check his pulse, he checked it. The guy in the middle, who's on his body, he checked it, and he told his officer, like, that was on the guy's feet, was, I can't feel it.
Oh,
that was
so he's already dead.
That was like, oh dang. But like even at that point, he should have told the other guy to like, we don't have to keep pushing pressure on his neck or whatever. Like at that point you can kind of
let go.
Yeah, let go. Yeah.
But they didn't let go.
He didn't let go.
Yeah.
I know the other cops did.
Yeah, got off.
Yeah, they weren't exactly on him as the same way, and they weren't like sitting on him. They were like, they had like some leaning on the tire or the side of the car.
Oh, so that's another key point. So they were leaning their body weight off of him a little bit, whereas the officer that was on the neck, he had his hands in his pocket, adding to the weight.
Which means straight,
So
weight to his neck,
your total weight is on the person's neck. Actually, when he sunk the choke deeper, if you watch that part where the MMA fighter's breaking down, he like, it shows that he positioned his weight even more. So like he pushed off of his back leg to add more weight onto the leg that was on the neck, but you're also not you're not like relieving any weight with your hands because they're in your pocket. So it's like you're pushing this choke really deep with all of your weight.
Right.
That's not a good look, but keep going.
Then they had the
but we also didn't acknowledge that we didn't confirm that the officer on the neck didn't hear that there was no pulse.
Yeah, so I don't know if that question came up or not.
Like, did you hear that there was no pulse?
Yeah.
Because if you heard it, then it's like, okay, there you go again. There's another strike against you.
But the thing is, his body cam, I guess in the shuffle of him trying to take him out and put him on the ground, I guess his body cam came off.
So explain why they took him out of the ground, put him on the ground, because that was kind of weird. Like he was already in the back of the car.
They got him from the sidewalk side. They were getting him into the car, but he was yelling, like, I can't breathe, I'm claustrophobic, and that kind of stuff. So then the other cop went to the other side of the door on the roadside, opened it, and I guess releasing some of the seatbelts to get him in, and somehow he shuffled himself from the sidewalk door side to the other door side.
Right. Yeah.
I like very quickly he went to that side trying to get out, and he was saying like, I'll rather be on the ground.
Okay. So George Floyd said, I'd rather be on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess you maybe have been again. That's why they had already, I think, called the ambulance, but it was like what the ambulance said was like a code 2, so it's not a serious thing.
Oh, so that's why it took a while to get there.
Yeah. And then I think it changed to a different code.
Okay.
When they said something like it was somewhat serious or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, so when they had him on the ground, then when the ambulance came, they wanted to check the pulse. So now they're interviewing the ambulance, both of them. So I'll skip over the one guy because he wasn't the main one. The other one was, he actually went and checked his pulse, and he said that at that point I didn't feel a pulse, and I thought he had a cardiac arrest. Like he was dead. Like he, in his professional opinion, that he was dead.
Right.
Then when they put him on the stretcher, then one of the cops went in with the ambulance to help with chest compressions. And then they did all the whatever they could, but they couldn't resuscitate him.
Right.
So he died with that, I would say, with that knee on his neck, in my opinion. Then they had like, I didn't see this one. I just saw like 2 minutes of it, which were like a lieutenant. Actually, no, there was one who I think was like who gets called in or to deal with excessive force use.
Okay.
And he said that what was done was an excessive force.
Witness.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah. On the stand, he was a cop. Something. Okay. I forgot what position, sergeant or I don't know.
Okay.
Then there was, which I saw just now, was a 2 minute from the lieutenant was saying that we are not trained to put our knee on the neck of someone.
Right.
Already adding more to this guy.
And the guy also had
because no, he said too, is like, why we don't do that because that could kill him. Jeez.
Okay, this is like an open and shut case. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, and then the officer himself already has like counts of.
Yeah, I guess 12 counts of excessive force or something like that. Called in from other cops, I guess.
So why is this person still like on the street? You know, as a police officer.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good question to ask too. Is this an issue with the union case situation?
Could you see there being like additional cases after this on like suing the police force as well? Like I could see that happening. Like they're suing the police force because of.
You mean George Floyd's or more other
afterwards,
people?
Afterwards. So once this is done, they'll sue them for like not getting this guy off the street sooner.
I'm not sure. Yeah, the city could do that.
That's what I mean, right? So it's like, oh,
I'm not sure how that would work. Yeah.
Like spin-off cases off of this one.
Right. So far, that's what I've seen so far. I mean,
yeah, it's like
the case.
So
and everything seems pretty damning. So
yeah,
that's the thing.
So what are we gonna do?
Every single thing seems pretty damning.
And then we watched some of the defense's side trying to like
and they were very they were
weak.
very lackluster. So for instance, like George Floyd's girlfriend was put on the stand, and the defense asked her, what was what were the nicknames you used, and he rephrased it to like, what was your name put on his in his phone contact, and she said it was Mama. So like the idea, so they're like, but how would the cops know that at the time? He's yelling for his mom. That's the only thing you would think of when he says
right.
when he's yelling for Mama.
But it's like, so like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
no, I know. But what I don't like how I don't know how that helps his case.
No, I know that's what I mean. It's like watching the defense try and like
yeah, like with the lieutenant.
What?
Yeah, with the lieutenant, it's like, the last time you're on the street was in like '93. So, but like, no, he deals with the training and stuff, so he knows that stuff. So like,
so what are you trying to?
He's trying to
say
like the street's gotten worse. Like, what do you like? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I understand what he's
like
trying to do, but
like,
exactly. Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. But it's like, but he's an officer though. Like he's still.
I organize the training, so it's like, what are you talking about here?
It's a tough job for the defense to find any kind of form of way to. Only thing is like, that he didn't know what he was doing. Was it blood choke or? But I don't know.
So it's like unintentional.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, I don't know. It's a tough situation for the defense.
Yeah, I wonder why you would even take the case. If I was the defense lawyer, I'd be like, "Ew, this is
well, maybe a lot of them didn't, right? Like,
that's why they got like the.
There was a lot of things that happened in that officer's like I think his wife left him after that situation.
Oh, so maybe they might claim like PTSD. Maybe they'll like.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe they might do something like that.
Years on the force have corrupted his mind.
Right.
Blah blah blah. He's like.
I don't know.
Oh man, could you imagine if they go out with that? It's like, and then he gets parole with some sort of like.
That's my only thinking, that maybe he'll get. I don't know how the justice system works over there. Like, do you get the minimum even if you're guilty on one of them? So
Yeah, I don't know, but
I don't know how it works.
this could be really bad if he gets like a really light sentence. Like the media uproar, the people will be
Right.
so
Yeah.
pissed.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, because he didn't go out. Like, that's why it's not first degree murder. He's not charged with that. It's second degree, third degree, and then manslaughter. Like, that's what are the charges that are on it.
Okay, yeah, but
So maybe manslaughter. I don't know what the other two mean. So
yeah, it's not
But I
looking
don't know.
good. Basically,
I mean, yeah, it doesn't look good right now for him.
I don't even know why we need to drag on this case even more. Like, is there
Well,
going to be
it's just it's the whole
formalities?
It's it's that's how any because they can bring their witnesses too.
You
right?
have to at least hear them out.
Yeah. So like again, maybe
It's just not painting
maybe
a good
from
picture.
their defense, I don't know if they're gonna pull like he OD'd because they brought up those stories to like he had to go to the hospital or he was in the hospital for
Right.
for
Actually,
ODs.
it's funny. This guy commented on my social media post, and he was saying like, "Oh, they're gonna get acquitted because George Floyd had 2 times the amount of fentanyl in himself to kill an average person." And I was like, "What does that have to do with anything, though?" Like, what?
Yeah.
It was such a weird, like, it's weird how you can take this thing. It's like either you see it as being wrong, or you're trying to, I don't know, justify their behavior somehow. But it's like, but why are you justifying their behavior? I don't understand. Like, you know.
But
what I mean?
even
It's
then,
like,
even him like saying that, I'm pretty sure he's not watching the case like I'm watching the
no,
case.
I don't think he's not
Yeah,
watching.
that's what I'm
it.
saying. Like
It's
you're
all,
not
like,
you're
media
not
related.
Yeah, and that's only how you would know. That's why
Yeah.
with going to court is when you get the whole story.
Right. But yeah, it's. I feel like I was saying this with
Like
COVID,
I mean, it goes for both sides. Like you're already making your decision prior to getting all the evidence.
For sure.
Right.
But I was saying this about COVID. It's like, it's weird how COVID really brings out the armchair experts and the armchair quarterbacks. You know, because it's like, the guy that commented, right? Why are you saying that you didn't? Did you watch the trial? You know, did you even watch the clip that I put up? It was so weird. You would like.
Right.
Like the clip I put up was about the MMA fighter, and I was like, yeah, he basically broke down how this was, you know, it. And like I was like, yeah,
how that killed him.
fentanyl.
How that basically killed him is what he was saying.
He's like, but still had fentanyl. Okay, so what, bro? Like, that had nothing to do with anything.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing you were saying actually too is very true. It's like, it's not George Floyd's case. He's not on trial here. It's the police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting stuff. I wonder how it's gonna play. I wonder how long it's gonna play out. Actually,
I don't know how many witnesses they have to go through because they have to go through. Like it'll be from both sides. I would assume they would have their version, their doctor say something.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, so this is. I'm not sure how long it would be. Maybe I didn't Google that, but like, we will see. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not like months and months. That's just really
well, it
annoying.
was
It's like, come on, bro,
when
we
it
already
started.
know.
Like I mean, it's been almost not almost a year, but like
No, but I mean,
almost
like,
a year
him
for the
actually
case to
being
start too, right?
Oh yeah, because you gotta like gather things. I get it. Like,
Yeah.
But I mean, like, how long is this trial gonna be? Come on, we all know that it's gonna be guilty. Yeah, but it's weird. Like, are you looking up the date?
Yeah. No, you keep going.
I know, I'm about to switch it. That's why I'll let you finish with the date.
No, I'm not getting how long the trial would be.
Well, yeah, but because couldn't it?
Like I don't know if they have
A
shown.
projected date?
Okay, it said 1 month.
Oh, it's a 1 month trial. 4 weeks.
I think so. If convicted, will be jailed for decades in the trial, which is expected to take 1 month.
Okay. So a month. So we'll know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's funny, like, this whole, it really shows, like, the systemic racism, like, systemic being, like, it's in the system, right? So there is racism within the system. And I know we covered this before, but now I'm watching Frontier, and it's like, it's already evident even in I mean, Frontier's about Canada, but they have like US, like it's primarily set in Canada, or the New World as they call it. But it's interesting because all the people that came over and are establishing the trade routes and all this are from like Britain, England, Ireland. Like all the main characters are like all the people coming into Canada have been white people, and like it's just the natives we're watching. Like it's two sides. So like Jason Momoa's character is half native, half Dutch, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or Irish, either Dutch or Irish. His dad is like white, and then like he gets trained by the like when his dad dies, he gets taken in by the leader of the Hudson Bay troop. And like the primary killer, like this guy's known as like a bloodthirsty person, and he gets trained by that guy. But then that guy kills Jason Momoa's family, so Jason Momoa joins the natives because he falls in love with a native woman, and like et cetera, et cetera. But it's funny because when you watch this, it's like, yeah, they are setting up their system.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course, you're gonna have some sort of elitist, like structural racism, like systemic racism, because like they're setting up their system. You know, if you look at it into history, so it's almost like I don't condemn it. I condemn it because, of course, like naturally right and wrong, like when you look at it from that perspective, like is it right, wrong, it's almost like it just is, because that's what happened. You know, it's like like of course there's gonna be systemic racism. The white people, the Dutch, Irish, English, they're the ones who set up the trade routes, the system, the freaking the forts, which became cities. Like you see it in this show, and it's like, okay, of course everything's to be swayed in their favor. Even religiously. So like back then, like being Christian was such a huge thing. So like they would come over and they're like, "How dare you, sir? I'm a Christian," you know. And it's like that explains why all presidents have been, even though, you know, America was founded on secularism, every president has been some sort of like Christian, Catholic.
They kind of acknowledge that they are. And they go to church or something.
And why would they do that if it's secular? Because the founding fathers built it like church and state separate. You know.
Well, they have to be religious, but they generally keep them separate in the sense of making certain laws, I guess. Like if you
it's blurred lines though, because like they're like God bless America.
No, but like for instance, like what would be directly like abortion laws are directly
right. You're saying like laws passed down from God. So that's what, but like who's God? The Christian God. So like it goes back to our thing about like the Abrahamic religions, right? Like it's like those are the like that's the one that set the stage for the society that we're in now. You know, just literally just look into history, you'll see how it all played out. Like or just watch Frontier, you'll see it there too. You know, like trade routes, Hudson Bay Company. But it's what we were saying yesterday when we were walking, that it's funny how like we're right now it moved from like pelts to plastic. But it's all the same thing, you know. We're like the whole show is about like the frontier is where they collect the raw materials, i.e. hunting of pelts, which they turn into like clothes for like regular people like you and I, commodities. You know?
Well, if it was, as you said, the new, what do you say, new world, new
world. That's what they call Canada.
So if a ton of people are coming in, it's like, well, they need to have it gets cold here, so
exactly.
They need the winter jackets or like
even one of the
winter coats.
One of the lines that is like prevalent. So like Jason Momoa, he like where I am in the show, he just freed a slave, and like a black slave, and then he goes to the guy that was whipping him, and he's like, go back to America or something, and he's like, wait, that's a nice coat. So the guy gives him a coat, and I'm like, yeah, because that's what the whole show's about. It's about like trading. It's literally about like clothes. When you dumb it down like that, it sounds so ridiculous. Like, what's the show about? It's about Canada and the setting up of trade, which is clothes. You know, or like they were giving lanterns to the natives. So like Jason Momoa to build a relationship with the native tribe so that they can help him hunt more pelts. He's like, I'm gonna give you like these lamps that will last all through winter, they won't break down. And it's so dumb. You're like, okay, like we're watching this show about a flashlight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but these are the things we don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm drinking coffee right now, right? But coffee is a really hot commodity in the world market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, we see life play out on the superficial level, and then on like the
well,
the
it was
deeper level.
it was like the rudimentary part. Like we think that time it was big, but it was like.
But it's still big today, right? Like Colombian coffee that they're shipping over from.
No. That's what I mean. Like rudimentary in the sense, like the light. You know, like they didn't have lamps. That was
Yeah.
like
true,
you know
true.
what I mean.
So
Like,
it was a big thing. Here it would be like us being like,
these
we're
are new
gonna trade you-
technologies for that.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
So it's like, I'm gonna trade you a Apple laptop.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
Yeah.
it means so much more. But it's so funny that we don't acknowledge it in our day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Like me buying a coat from like Walmart or whatever. It's like,
Well,
whatever.
we're so far
removed
from that world. We just go to the store and you see it, right?
They
or you
say
just order online now.
They say, yeah, totally. It's even more far removed. We
more
just
far
order it
away.
online. It's like you don't see the plastic that goes into like the freaking pen that you bought, you know?
Yeah.
But where'd that plastic come from? It came from some place in like oil farms where because plastic is oil. So it's like,
like all that,
crazy.
exactly. Like even for our phones, like all these cobalt or nickel, and it's coming from mines in Africa.
Yeah.
All these little pieces. Like,
Yeah.
you don't think about it.
The ruby chips and whatever. It's like, it's crazy. Like when you see the show and like see how basic it is, but looking how far we've come. Because the reason why I'm obsessed with the show is because like I love business, so it's like it's a very economics business related show,
Right?
And like it shows like the underhanded dealings. Like they would just kill people. They're like, oh, you're building this trade route, and I want your business, so either partner with me by like either a straight up partnership, marriage, or I'll kill you. So like,
Yeah.
but that's like today. We do that today still, you know. And even back then, it would be like marrying houses together, so that you know, like I own this factory, you own this
That's
resource.
how you build a union. Yeah.
Totally.
Build
So
a partnership.
We'll marry our children so that they can, like marriage. Like that explains why in Roman times they're like marriage wasn't for love; it was for economic.
These are
reasons.
only recent times. This idea of love.
Because we're so privileged to like think about that kind of stuff. Yeah. And watching these shows, it's crazy. Like we have it so easy now, like vaccines, like vaccine, COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Like back then they would have died. Like no, they would have died, but I meant like they would have died to have the vaccine, but they would have just died because they didn't have the vaccine.
Yeah.
But like they would have killed for the vaccine back then.
No, yeah. Right.
You know, it's like. But now we're all fighting over like, oh, there's 5G chips in there, brain
Yeah.
control.
All this
It's like,
nonsense. Yeah.
it's like, do you know what they had to go through back then? The plague? Like, come
That's
on,
the
bro.
thing. That, like with the vaccine, especially, it's like we forget what it was just even 100 years ago.
Yeah.
That they didn't have all these types of vaccines that can saved kids or babies that were being born. So
Totally.
And now there's this anti-vaxxers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
exactly. It really lends you perspective. Actually, I was listening to Alex Honnold, and I'm going to cut this post up. So like Alex Honnold, you know Alex Honnold, Free Solo?
Okay.
You know the guy that...
Yeah.
Love that dude's perspective. So he goes around the world and does like crazy stuff. But like, it's crazy to us, not crazy to him.
Yeah, of course.
He's just an adventure.
Yeah.
So like he spent a month in Guyana. Guyana. He says Guyana, so I was like, all right, is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Or
Maybe it
like
is.
Guyana. I don't know. Anyway, so he spent like a month there, and like Joe was saying, he was saying like they were talking about Survivor, and he's like, oh, I really hate that show, you know. And then Joe's like, oh, why? And he's like, because it wrongfully glorifies that kind of way of life. Because in Guyana, they're doing that as like a day to day.
Oh.
But the challenges that they put in these Western societies, it's like, oh, now you must walk barefoot and blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, but that's like a Tuesday for somebody around the world. So it's almost disrespectful.
Right. Well, I mean, that's coming from I get it from his perspective.
Because he has perspective.
No, I get it from his perspective, but to Americans, that is super.
No, I know.
Different.
But that's what he's saying. It's disrespectful to them because it's like you're making a mockery of my way of life. You know, but they can't. And then Joe was like, oh, no. Another thing that he was saying that I thought this was so brilliant too. he's like, I really hate people, and we say this all the time, but we have the same perspective. So he's like, I really hate people that are like, let's get back to nature movement. And so this is a guy that spends all his time in nature.
Yeah.
Right? All of his time in nature. And he's saying he hates that movement. Why? It's because he's like, these people would kill to have what we have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have electricity.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have, like, when he was in Guyana, he's like, the person was like, all I really want is direct TV. And he's like, well, you'll need infrastructure first because you'll need electricity.
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
actually I can't just give you a TV.
Yeah.
You know, you need like a city that will, or a satellite that will bring the, you know, and like over here, we're like, do away with your technology. Let's get back to it. And Joe makes a good point. He's like, yeah, it brings up like depression because of social media. And he's like, and then Alex Honnold, you know, it's like, just turn it off, man. Like, you don't need
We have that.
subject,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, but these people would kill to have what we have, and we're throwing it away.
Yeah.
Like, we have infrastructure.
Yeah. That's
perspective.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like another one was shoes. He's like, oh yeah, like we're like, there's this like movement, you know, where they're like, oh, we don't need really good shoes because shoes make us weaker, blah blah blah. And then he's like, the porters would love shoes. Like, when he's in Guyana, the people that were carrying his baggage, right? The porters, the people that carry stuff, they did it barefoot. And he's like, all these people that talk about like their natural ways, it's like, yeah, but the porter would die for some Nikes, bro.
Well, I mean, that's the
kill for
whole.
some Nikes.
That's the idea that comes back to people should travel to understand perspective.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's like, or when you travel, because there's like glampers. So he makes fun of these people. So like, you can like so like, all right, so he had to stay in the rainforest on a hammock because that's the only thing that was around, because he was like trying to climb this thing for National Geographic. And then there are these people on like social media like, oh, you can stay at this like hotel, like not really hotel, but like you can backpack, and like if you come to this area, you can like sleep under the stars in this hammock and like whatever. It's like, it's very like roughing it, but glamping roughing it. So it's like, he's like social media influencers that quote unquote rough it, but they're not really roughing it. And he's like, why don't you just stay in a hotel? Like, we have the luxury of those amenities.
Yeah.
But you're trying to put yourself in a worse position for like what? Like if you really want the real thing, go live with those like people that don't have anything. But like, if you go to those countries and you're like, I'm gonna rough it, but not really rough it, because you know what I mean? Like, it's like fake roughing it. Yeah. Perspective, man.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to defend Survivor here a little bit.
Because you love Survivor.
I like Survivor just to see how people react for money.
Yeah, but all right.
That's what I do.
Okay, so you're looking at it like a psychological case study, right? You're like, oh wow, you'll eat this for money? What won't you do for money?
Exactly.
You know, like, okay,
it's kind of making fun of Americans too, right?
It is, no, but that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. It's like it's this media that we consume that we think is like, oh look, they can do it, but it's like, it's that's like a Tuesday for someone else, you know? Yeah. Perspective.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that's also why it's important to look into history, because that gives you perspective too. It's
True,
like when you talk about like white supremacy, whether or not you agree or disagree with white supremacy and like systemic racism, whether you agree or disagree with it is not a matter. The facts are, that's how it was built up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. It's like, but look at history. Those are facts. That happened. White people pushed out the natives. They built their system. Now we're having like globalization, bringing more different ethnicities into the mix. Yeah. Which is screwing up their system that they built up. So like this George Floyd case, it's like systemic racism. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. They weren't here first, but they were the ones who set up their power structure first.
But that's how, again, in these types of societies, it ends up eventually changing, even though they built
Of
up
course,
the structure.
Yeah, we're just watching.
But
the
by
change.
voting is how you make the change.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, don't break the system because the system's good, but you can change it naturally through by using the system to like freaking change the system. Yeah, and I think this is pretty interesting too. When you look at how old North America is, it's not even 200 years or something, right? So most people here that are here ethnically, like you and I, we're first generation. So we're not even, like, we're just starting. So that's why you're seeing all of this like turmoil right now. Like, why are they attacking Asian people? Like, because, like, well, why are they attacking different races? Blacks, Asian now. What were the other ones? 9/11 ones.
Oh, Arabs?
Yeah. So why are they attacking all those? Because they're new to the system. It's logical.
It's happened every time. It wasn't like, I mean, when the first ones came, then they didn't like the Irish, right? Even though they're it was like that. It's just like, then Irish became, because they've been here longer, they kind of became part of the America.
System,
I'm part of, and then,
because first was British.
Yeah.
Who came over?
They didn't like the French, and then
they didn't like the French. Yeah, exactly. So it's
the Irish. Then you know what I mean. And then it's like, okay, well now African American, or
now we don't like those ones.
Yeah, it's like,
oh, Asians are coming out, but now we don't like those ones.
Yeah.
It's the growing pains of the system.
Yeah.
That, I heard this somewhere. I think it was a comedian that said it, but like racism will be abolished in like 200 years because everyone will have mated with everyone. There'll be no white people. It'll just or like super dark people. It'll just be like a shade. Will be like a hue of a tan.
Right.
We'd all be tanned.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure that'll happen, but it may be in North America.
For sure. Yeah, North America. But I think after that, then we'll get into class systems. Because we always need a division. We always need some sort of divide between like the rich and the poor. Actually,
I mean, that's happening now too. So.
Right. Okay. So let me get into this though. So I finished that book. Well, I'm like 5 pages away from finishing the book, Why Nations Fail. And it comes down to two things. So even though we're like arguing about like racism and stuff and like all this, so you have a extractive system and an inclusive system. So an inclusive system is where you have knowledge, resources. All right, so even though they're like, oh, okay, black schools aren't that great, but at least you can learn, right? You could still go to Harvard. You can still take out a loan, something like that. You have like equal opportunity, quote unquote, equal opportunity,
right?
Some semblance of equal opportunity. Then extractive systems. So those nations that have inclusive systems, they're very successful,
right?
Because they're sharing the resources,
right?
Yeah. Like in some manner, I guess, people are like, well, it's uneven. Yes, okay, but still, you have education.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't want to say anyone, but like, it's easier for people who have that access to like starting your own business or something.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easier, but
comparative
you still have access. You still have access, but it's easier.
Yeah.
All right. We're not gonna argue that rabbit hole because yes, okay. Then an extractive system is where a select group. So this is what people think are conspiracies, right? Like, all right, so a select group has all the power and they keep everyone else down. So they're going to be like, okay, well, that's happening in the US. To a degree, sure. But in actual countries where they have full-on extractive systems, like in the book, the most salient example for me is North Korea, South Korea. So South Korea, you can have education, you can get bank loans, etc. That's why they're thriving. But then how come to the north, they're not? It's because Kim Jong-un and like whoever's in that power structure, they don't let people educate themselves. They don't let people get jobs. They don't let people take out loans. They're all working for one system.
Yeah.
So when people talk about conspiracies of like these 1%ers that are like in America control, yes, that's true, but there's still access. Whereas in other countries, there's no access, and that's why they fail, because you have a bunch of people that are working for one person.
Right.
Whereas in an inclusive system, you have people working for themselves.
Yeah.
And I picked up the book because I thought I was going to find conspiracy, and it was so logical. I was like, that actually totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But it was also
I don't know why he doesn't. I was just thinking North Korea. Why doesn't he kind of change it where he's like the king or something, but people have access to, like kind of like Taiwan or something?
I think it's yeah, I don't know. It could just be because that's how his dad ran
Maybe
it.
he's also.
He just inherited a system. Actually, it talks about it in the book. Another name for it is vicious cycles, or virtuous cycles.
Okay.
So a virtuous cycle is like the inclusive one, and a vicious cycle is the extractive one. So it's hard to break out of both cycles. So once you're in a vicious or virtuous cycle, it's hard to revert back.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, why doesn't he just switch? Because he's in a vicious cycle. Like, he inherited it. He's probably going to pass it down. It's going to take a lot of work to change that whole thing.
Yeah, it's not under his generation. It'll be like...
Yeah, it'll be slow. Because
it's a slow process.
Because imagine if, like, he's like, okay, now we're going to let everyone learn. They can all read now. Then people are going to be like, wait, you're going to disrupt our way of life. They'll just kill him.
Yeah.
The people who are making the money in that system. And then speaking of killing him, that's in Frontier too. Like, right? It's like, that's how business is done. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, final thing. I know. I know we went over, but I just want to bring this up like super quickly. NFTs.
Okay.
So
NFTs is becoming a big thing, and I don't know anything about it.
So France brought it up, and then he's like, "Yo, did you see this thing with NFTs?" I'm like, "No." And then you said that Elon Musk made a song about NFTs.
Yeah, there was a song. Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched the explanation of NFTs. Basically, it's a way to secure a digital file in a way that only you can access that digital file.
All right.
So he likens it to rare Pokemon cards.
Right.
So it's like, if I have a rare Pokemon card, I'm holding on to that rare Pokemon. It's my Pokemon card.
Yeah.
So for some, like, because it came up because, like, with digital pirating, right? So, like, if you have a movie, let's say, that comes out, people can just download the illegal version of that movie. Yeah. But if you have an NFT, you need some sort of an encryption password to access it. So only you have access to it. And there's only one of it, so you can't replicate it.
Yeah.
So they've just created a digital way to make a rare item.
I get it.
Right. But it's so dumb. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what happens if all the power's out? If you have no energy, what good is that digital item worth?
Yeah. Or we go back to the Stone Age.
Yeah. So you're wasting, and they're paying like millions and millions of dollars
just to own something.
Just to own something
digital.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point? But that's where trade routes have gone. We've gone from frontier pelts to like digital pelts now. It's like weird.
Yeah. I just don't understand the digital thing with that way. Rather just own something. If it was going to be like that, something exclusive, it would be something physical.
Yeah, and you couldn't share it. So what's the point?
No, I know. I know. But I'm just saying, like, it would make more sense to have it physically versus
versus digitally. Yeah,
versus digitally.
I don't even know why you would make something digital. Like, you would need a laptop to watch that. So you'd need a physical item to watch a digital item. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And what do you keep that on a USB? Do you keep it on a cloud server?
Maybe. I don't know anything about this stuff, but sure.
No, but like that's only. That's only.
I don't know how
these. How are you gonna carry it? You literally need like something to store that data. It's either USB or a cloud server. So, the hell, man.
I just don't even get. I mean, even for me, like even physical things, I don't really care about that.
Right.
So,
but like, it's even more ridiculous now with a digital item.
Yeah. People just got time on their hands to do some craziness.
We'll leave it with that. Yeah. That's exactly. People got time on their hands, especially with COVID. We're in lockdown number 3 now. Maybe 4 will be next, maybe 5. It's that joke Wob said. He's like, my friends, if we want a successful and good 2030, we need to lock down. We need to lock down once more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's people got time on their hands. Oh, actually, this was in the book too. So they said, if people can make money, if people can live without having to work, what good are they in the system? This was a question posed from somebody. It's like a discussion between two people. And then they said, okay, we'll just tax them.
Yeah.
Because that way you have to work, because you have to still pay taxes. Even if you can like self-sustain on a farm or whatever, you're going to be taxed. So that's the way you hook people for life. Although taxes are good, we've talked about that before. Like taxes contribute to the greater whole, et cetera.
Yeah.
Like roads, healthcare.
Well, yeah, there's the general things. I mean, if you want UBI, it's also taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Calling it UBI. It's coming. For a successful 2041, we will be implementing universal basic income. All right. Until next time.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Vish.
Peace. Bye.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors, Zenreal Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.